Welcome off the top, you guys. I'm Kyle Amir. Today we have our first guest in the studio, a master barber with over 30 years in the game, an educator, someone who shaped both of our careers. I want to welcome Mr. Jason Belcher to the show, and let's get right into it, man. I always start with our origin stories, so just if you don't mind asking or telling, can you take us back to when you first got into barbering?
Oh man, my mom used to cut our hair, and I've never been to a barbershop except for twice in my life that I remember. Her and my father went through a divorce, and she kind of checked out. And she was crying for like a month, like 2 months. And then one day I wanted to look good for this girl, and I asked her to cut my hair because she was in a good mood. And she cut my hair, but she took my hairline back to like right here. And I was hot. I was mad, and she thought it was funny. She was laughing. And I said, "Ma, that ain't funny." So she snapped through the clippers and hit me in my face and said, "Cut your own head from now on." So I started cutting my own head, and then I moved to a complex with like 300 units called Old Point. And when they saw seeing that I cut hair, I stayed by the basketball court. I just ran with it. And then eventually when I turned about 20, I went to barbering school, and I just never looked back.
Okay.
Crazy.
What?
That's wild.
Story.
We heard that story, but I don't think we heard that deep of a version.
Nah.
How was the industry back then, and how has it changed over time? I know that's probably like a very deep question, but
I'll summarize it up. How can I say it? So long story short, it was more sociable. They were cutting for grooming, and these days I think just my own, it's probably just my own personal feelings about it. They were cutting for not just for social media. They were cutting for like movement when you're walking about, when you're in a grocery store, you're in church, and it's pretty much was grooming, more social. There wasn't as much appointment, so you didn't know what was coming through the door. So every day was exciting. You never know how long you're going to be there, but we just hung around the shop. Back in the days, people came, they sold stuff, they just came to interact. The climate was different. So these days and I would give it to it, time these days is more of a factor. Instead of people sitting into the barbershop for 8-10 hours, appointments, in and out, less sociable unless you find that right barber. So it's different, but I will say with the modern technology makes it more skillful. Even though it was true skill back then, it's still true skill now. It just opens the eyes to different skill sets, different avenues to cut hair, more ways to maximize your income. Back in days, you see barbers that have been cutting for 30 years and just say, "Oh, I'll cut hair." This new generation is about business, and the business side of barbering has developed, and that's what I like to see on that part.
for sure. Okay, that's cool. So, obviously, I know it's Hollywood, but one of my favorite movies is Barbershop. So, do you think that's like an accurate depiction of how it was, or is that too Hollywood?
A lot of it is. A lot of it's true.
That was true.
A lot of it's true. A lot of it's true.
Because me and Amir, we're post COVID, so we don't really know well, obviously we take walk-ins, but like people just showing up and hanging out in the barbershop all day.
Yes.
That don't really
Selling
exist,
stuff.
and at least in mine, I can't speak for Amir, but in my world, it don't really exist anymore.
All right, so I'll say, for instance, take the barbershop. I won't say what barbershop we're in now. Back in the days, they had like not wait. What's the room I'm looking for? What's the room I'm looking for? Where you change your clothes and
You can change your clothes.
I'm drawing a blank. All right, so let's look into barbershop. When they go into the back, they had like a place where you can eat, where you can change. They had lockers. Back then, this is all they're gonna do.
Like a changing room?
Yeah, like a changing room or a fitting room or whatever.
Break room?
Break room, thank you. That's the word I'm looking for. And you were there all day.
You didn't leave the shop?
You didn't leave the shop. No. It's plenty of times I spent the night. Got an overnight bag, some change of clothes, soap, deodorant, toothbrush, things of that nature, and you're there to the next day. Because you didn't know what was coming in. Right. Now you can schedule your day.
And you know what's coming.
You know what's coming.
Sure.
But back then, you there until the wheels fall off.
You just popping on the cot and calling it a night? Or?
Yep. Yeah, on the barber chair. Lay the barber chair back, put the blanket on you, and go to sleep.
That's tough.
Yes.
I can't imagine. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I imagine they still knocking. As soon as you open your eyes, y'all taking walk-ins.
So before the point, I would get there like 6 in the morning, and I would have like 10 cars waiting. 6.
Wow.
Yeah. And they'll take me through lunch, and then the second shift come in from 12 to like 6. Then from 6 to like 2 in the morning, we'll just do it like that.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely changed a lot for sure.
Y'all was hustling, man.
It was.
We sound weak.
No, I think in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, 2009, after the recession, 2007 to 2009 was the recession. Once the recession hit, I watched people with doctor's degrees, master's degrees, bachelor's, whatever, associates, they were losing their jobs. And they were hitting the ceiling. They were losing their homes. They were losing their cars. They were losing a lot of their professions. And the barbers, they just kept on trucking on. We really didn't see the recession. So after that, they realized that barbering was recession-proof. And so they capitalized off of it. Then it became social media. And social media capitalized off of the bells and the whistles of barbering. And what happens is back in the 2004, earlier, people didn't think barbers, I don't want to be with no barber. You know, barbers don't make no money. It's not a real job. But now that they see that it is recession-proof and sustainable and very lucrative, they're capitalizing on it. And I think the true essence of barbering gets lost in the pursuit of money, fame, and popularity. And I'm not against it because it highlights those things, which is a good thing. But I think the culture of barbering is lost. And a lot of people that's been cutting for a long time feel that way. But change is inevitable. Instead of moving along and adapting to the change, a lot of us are stuck in our ways and dreaming about the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Episode, I think it was episode 1 or 2, we were actually talking about that. What got me into barbering, I saw these flawless faves on Instagram. I was like, oh, I can do that. That's easy. Boy, was I wrong. You know, but in the sense of that's what it is now. You know, like people just post on social media, oh, you can do this. It's a get rich quick scheme, and then like people want to get into it and they don't like maintain it. You know, like get in and get out type thing.
The idea is quite different than reality.
Correct. Yeah, and I figured that out
100%.
probably my first 2 months.
Yeah, it sells the dream that this is, like I say, is easy, that is lucrative in a short matter of time, when truthfully it's a long haul. You have to develop the skill set, you have to develop your clientele, you have to develop a brand or something that's marketable or that's desired or sought after. Then you can start coasting, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
You remember what your first haircut was?
Oh, man.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
What?
Yes, I started on my brother and my hair. And besides that, I used to cut a couple of kids in the complex, and I used to tear them up. The whole hairline be crooked, and thank God we didn't have social media, so y'all won't see it. It was awful. It was really awful.
I'd be like that. I used to do my brothers like that, man.
Yeah. They used to be mad with you.
I ain't gonna lie, back then they wasn't, but now they be happy for sure.
That's
Back
all
then they was too young to understand, but I was like, sheesh.
So what got you into it?
Really just back home, my barber, like he was always like the guy around town, like I was winning, and I'm like always talking to him. I realized just like building that confidence within people, that was like what I wanted to do. So I was always just in the shop every week talking to him. He giving me ins and outs. Then from there, I was just like, I'm gonna try school. Yeah, that was it.
That's all right there.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So, speaking of social media, before social media was a thing, what did you have to do to build your name before social media back in the day?
Well, it's your product. If you're gonna be good or you're gonna be bad. They're gonna hear about you one way. So you have to make a decision. You're gonna be good or you're gonna be bad. Even through social media, the word of mouth is still the best form of advertising.
Right.
You know, so you can see all these on social media. Just because it's social media doesn't mean they're gonna do right on your head. So the word of mouth is, hey, this particular person did me a really good job, or you're particular about how you want your hair cut, and what they'll say is, yes, I had the same issue, go to this particular person. And that's how you were not branded, but you were heard about. Also, there weren't as many barbershops, so your name would probably ring out faster than it would now. these days you have a lot of really good barbers that are coming out with a lot of good skill sets that's coming from different areas. I think, like I said, we talked about 70 shops now, but back in the days, it wasn't that many. So if you did a good job, people would hear about you. If you did a bad job, they would hear about you.
Either way, you're getting good publicity or bad publicity.
Yes.
Fact.
Yes.
So word of mouth was pretty much king. I mean, it still is king, but definitely back then, for sure.
Yeah. And then social interaction, interpersonal skills. You had to talk to people. I see nowadays you book online, Booksy, I'm on the cut. They don't even know who you are. They come in the shop and say, hey, I'm looking for so-and-so.
Right.
That's cool. I'm not against that. That's a really good marketing tool. But back in the days, you had to walk up and talk to people and interact with them. How you doing? My name is so-and-so. This is where I cut. Come try me out. I had a gentleman, he threw my card on the floor.
Right in front of you?
God.
We walked down, threw it on, and then he came back because he needed to cut, and I've been cutting him since 2008.
Dang.
Hey,
On the
man.
floor is crazy.
Yeah.
What?
So you had to have, it was more, back in the days we would tell a barber, hey man, you just not good. These days they'll cry and go run home or they want to fight you. But back in the days, hey, you ain't good. You either going to sink or you going to swim.
There's more to choose from, I guess, nowadays.
Yeah.
For sure.
So these days it's considered hate if you're saying this is not a good haircut. And sometimes it is hate, but haircuts are subjective.
Right.
It may look good to you, but it may not look good to someone else. And this is the culture we're in.
For sure. So, what do you think separates a good barber from a great one?
Consistency. In my opinion, consistency. There are a lot of good barbers. They may be good in a specific area. And I hear a lot of clients say, they did me good for the first 3 times. And then the last time, I don't know what happened. Now they're going to a different barber. Or diversity. If you even on social media, it's really rare that you see them cut different demographics at the same skill level on each demographics.
Right.
So they may do really good at once, let's say straight hair, and then they kind of lack in curly hair, and you'll see it. It may still look good, but it may not be as consistent as with their demographics they're comfortable with. So consistency, variety when it comes to different demographics, and soft skills.
I feel like that's probably the biggest one right there, soft skills.
Nah, for sure. Them soft skills major.
Yeah, it
Man.
is.
Like, when I got into the game, I was a pretty introverted person, but thankfully this has pushed my extrovert out. I'm completely extrovert. Well, it depends on who I'm talking to, obviously, but way more extroverted than I was. And I think it's because of those soft skills that helped me develop communication, relationship building skills, all that good stuff.
It's key, man. Some people like to talk. I have a client, he doesn't like to talk, and I won't talk.
And you got to figure those out, because I feel like that also helps you be a good barber. When you figure out who wants to talk and who don't want to talk, that could do you a lot of favors.
It does.
For sure.
It does. People, just to say the least on it, when it comes down to that, a lot of barbers don't know how to control their emotions or their feelings. Sometimes it be on their face. They may have had a rough night, and the first person that come in the morning may not be the particular client that they want to see. So they have to learn how to not show certain expressions or body language. It's not just verbal. It's just like body language. I don't feel like cut. You can't do it.
Right.
Hey, good morning. How are you? Even if you may not feel like it, and then as you talk, your feelings change. And at the end, you're glad that you weren't rude or disrespectful. And most people think that verbally it's the only disrespect, but your body language can tell that as well.
You can see an attitude right here. You can see all that, and then also while we're on that topic, I feel like a lot of people don't really think of customers as annual customer value, in the sense of they see them once in their chair and they think about that one haircut.
Yes.
But if you do that one haircut really good, let's just, for sake of today, let's say you charge $30 a haircut. Stop looking at that as a $30 haircut and look at that $30 over 12 months.
Yeah.
Maybe 24 times, depending on if it's a 2-week client or 1-month client. That's going to change your attitude, I promise.
Or generational.
Right.
A lot of them aren't thinking down the line. They're not thinking about, I want to cut your children's children. I used to cut your grandfather. This is longevity. A lot of them, I hear these days where they say, I don't want to do this. This is a side hustle. I'm just going to do this until this. But you know, barbers back then, no, this is what we're gonna do for life. I cut your son, and I'm gonna cut your son, and I'm gonna cut your son's son if I'm still alive.
Facts.
You know,
That's how it was.
these are the things. It is generational. Like I cut a young man since 9 months. He's 23 every week since he was 9 months old. I cut his father. I cut him, and if he has children, God forbid, I'm there around. I'm gonna cut his children.
Right.
This is what barbering is. It's not just the money. So your soft skills sustain you as well as your technical skills, to say the least.
For sure. Do you think it's, how do I put this? Like, a lot of people like shop hopping, like clientele. Do you think, like, what's the most common thing you see and the reason people leave? Like, is it, because most people just want to get a haircut at the end of the day. You agree with that?
Yes. Yeah. Why do clients leave?
Yeah, like, so what's the big problem you see, like, why people continue, like, shop hopping? Like, say, for example, like, if you have a good haircut, something was off, like, most people just want a good haircut.
Right.
So why do people keep, if they can't find a good haircut? Okay, better question, why is it so hard to find a good haircut? I guess would be the best way to ask that.
For a client, inconsistencies. The client is, it doesn't work in their time frame.
Mm-hmm.
They may like the barber, they may like the way the barber cuts. However, their time doesn't align. There's no accommodations, inconsistency. And I speak for myself. One of the biggest things I lost clients for is lack of communication and lack of respect for their time. It's not that I was trying to be disrespectful, but my time, client said, hey, Jason, you know, you said 7 o'clock, it's 7:30. So if I have a client now, they may be okay with you lining them up and finishing them up if you're running over time. But if you look and say, I'm sorry, I still got one more after this, and they be like, nah, you know, or if they're trying to call for an appointment or they're trying to call and reach you and you're not available, you know, they may just reach out to someone else. Another one, price. They may find a better cut for a better price. They may, and like I say, soft skills as well, they may not like your energy. So they'll go to somebody whose energy they watch. I watched a lot of people who may not do a good of a service as their original barber, but because of their energy, they'll go with them more consistent. So it's a lot. People relocate. The excitement of the atmosphere of a barbershop. It's a variety of reasons why people would leave. So it's not just black or white, but you have a lot of variety. But I would say the main thing is inconsistency. People just want a haircut. They want the same haircut. I had a client. He's a assistant principal every Saturday morning at 7 o'clock, clockwork. 6:58, he's pulling up in the parking lot like it's his first haircut. Yeah, you know?
Yeah.
But though, I would say the main thing is inconsistency from the barber, which would make someone else leave.
Gotcha. What's one lesson you try to pass to every student? If you had to narrow it down to one lesson, is there one that like sticks out further than all the rest, or?
Develop the skill set and stay behind the chair. If you're happy with your haircuts, you ain't doing enough.
We were just talking about that. On the other, like,
Facts.
we look at, we'll take videos, and we pretty much agreed. There's, I'd say 80% of the haircuts I have in my camera roll, I don't even post.
Yeah.
Always something
I
that
see,
could be better.
nitpick.
So if you want to develop the skills, technical skills, the soft skills, and stay behind that chair. Morning, noon, and night, that's your life, that's your job. Make your mind up on what you want to do. You want this to be part-time, you want this to be forever, you want this to be just a side hustle, whatever you do, make your mind up and work it that way. So if you're only going to be here 2 to 5, let everybody know 2 to 5 and stick to your 2 to 5. You know, but me personally fall in love with the industry. As much as it is oversaturated and is being finally
That's one of the
respected.
questions I was going to ask you down the road, but
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And as much as it's being, like I said, oversaturated, and as much as it's finally getting its just due as a respectable profession, they still need the love of the barber to see him or her, or they're happy to come do their job. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, that's a good lesson. I feel like all three of those stuck true with me and Amir, you know, like, especially the skills of everyday walking barbering.
Yep. You're welcome to barber. And especially y'all in your 20s, and I'm not, it's 20 years from now, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I've seen barbers, they just up and want to go across the world somewhere. They got tired of being behind the chair. It can be like a prison if you're not careful. If you don't love it, you don't manage your time, it becomes mundane, monotony, you know. And you have to keep that love and that passion alive. And that means take breaks, go see different shops, go watch other skill sets, go see where you stand, go to hair shows, go to things that make you fall in love with it. And you'll have longevity in it. That's just...
Hair show. My first hair show definitely kind of like lit a fire under me and saw what was like truly possible. Because like obviously Tallahassee is awesome and it's beautiful, but there's so much more than I completely thought was imaginable in the realm of this industry.
It is. And one of the biggest things, and I say this also to go back to your question about what would you give them, go out and see different skill sets in different cities. You would quickly gain an understanding of where you fit in. So you'll go to another city and you'd be like, I'm not that bad. Or I'm pretty good. You see what I'm saying? You go up into, let's say you go up to New York and you see the skill set and you be like, I'm on that skill set. Then you could come back here and develop your craft. It's essential for you to see different things, a broader scope of what's really going on in the barber industry. It does the soul good. That's just my opinion. So do all these things, man.
It's so crazy how like we all do the same thing, but we all do it so differently.
Facts.
That's
So
one of
many
the things I
ways.
like the most is how unique like every individual is on a grand scheme. It's obviously we're doing the same thing, but like the way we set up our station, the way we start the haircut, the way every small thing that comes out to the same result is just it's a good thing to see.
It is. A lot of barbers don't think it'll be them. They don't think they'll be the next instructor or the next platform artist, the social media influencer. It may be you.
Yeah, it very well could be.
Yeah.
What's something you see? What's a comment like a mistake you see younger barbers making over and over and over and over?
Oh,
like a
man.
repetitive mistake you see with younger barbers.
Time.
In the sense of like not being in the shop, in the sense of like managing it.
Managing their time, and the first thing that just shoots in my mind is time. For instance, I get to the shop at 5 in the morning. On the weekends, I leave probably about 3 or 4 in the afternoon. I'll see most of the younger barbers. They'll come in after me and they'll leave before me.
Yeah, I see that a lot too.
And then they don't develop a clientele, and now they're going to go get different jobs. Or the second mistake is not really taking the industry serious. They are, a lot of them, and I'm not speaking for all of them, are up under this perception of what barbering is, and the reality walks them down. And instead of facing the challenge, a lot of them just say, hey, look, I'm done with barbering, I'm gonna go do something different. So these are the things that I see with young people, even the way they dress. A lot of them know where they barber jacks, and they come in there like they roll out of bed. They don't groom themselves. They don't ask questions to the client. They don't try to engage. I had a young client, a barber, we was having this same dialogue, and he was cutting the gentleman in his chair. He was of Hispanic descent or demographics. And I would say, hey man, I didn't notice you didn't even talk to the gentleman. You were cutting him for the last 15 minutes, but
right.
You haven't been talking. You didn't even ask him his name. I saw you when you came in. Turned out he was the owner of El Jalisco's.
The client was?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
And I asked
Are you
him,
saying like he was talking to you but not talking to the client, or not talking to
well,
nobody?
yeah, before I started talking to he was cutting the gentleman. I watched him, set him up, cut him up. He just started cutting. And after he was cutting for 10 minutes, I went down there. He and I started dialogue because I seen it. And I wasn't trying to just go talk to him about it. We had a dialogue about it. I was like, man, you didn't even know. Did you ask the gentleman his name? We were just clowning.
Yeah, for sure.
So I asked the gentleman his name. He turned and he went to talking. And turned out, El Jalisco. And your work, you don't know where your work will be shining.
You don't.
Facts.
So I watched them not take haircuts serious. They're serious enough because they want to do the designs or the styles that they see. So they'll take that serious. I want to do a temp. I want to do a drop. So they'll try to put it on everybody.
Right.
And the thing is, instead of learning how to cut that particular hairstyle for that lady or that gentleman, if that makes any sense, I watch them make the mistakes of incorporating what they see on social media and try to put it into the barbershops. Yeah. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And I'm not trying to say social media doesn't work, but you have to know how to compartmentalize it. Yeah. This is this and this is this.
Yeah, like moving. I mean, even before I moved to the north side, the biggest thing, and you said this in school, and like I listened to you, of course, but on college side, you see a lot of it. over here, not everyone wants a skin fade.
No.
Not everyone wants a tint fade. Like,
Nope.
I get hella 3 on the sides, 1/4 inch off the top, easy breezy. But sometimes the newer barbers, those are harder to do than the skin fades.
Yes. Yes.
I think it's just because we're so. I don't know about me. When I first started, I'm not trying to stand up for a dude. I'm
with you.
possibly when I first started, I didn't talk, but it was because I was so in my head about the haircut. It's not that I didn't want to talk to him. It's like I was scared to talk and mess it up. Which I'm not saying that that may not be the case, but not everyone wants a skin fade, and that's a thing that I'd learned. Because I was like, man, I'm gonna put a skin fade on you. I'm gonna put a skin fade on you. Because that's all you really see on social media. But these everyday Joes, the blue collar guys, they don't want all that. They just want a good haircut.
No.
Even all over, man.
Even all over, yeah, that too.
Simple.
Yes. Well, I mean, you're only acclimated to certain things,
Right.
or exposed to certain things. The thing I would go back to is maybe that they refuse to develop. It's okay that that's how it is, but when you refuse to conform or develop to the skill or the business, I think that's one of the mistakes I see them make as well. You are going to conform to this before it conforms to you. I see a lot of them, they say, no, this is how I'm going to do it, and I get it. But sooner down the line, you're going to conform because the clients that you have are going to grow older. They may not want that same style. You're going to have to, then you may be exposed.
Yeah, being a college kid in college, and you cut after you graduate and you get a professional job,
Yeah.
things change.
Things change. And you get older as well.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. What's keeping you motivated after 33 years?
You all. When I got to the program, I stood outside and I couldn't believe that I was going to be teaching barbering. And when I started teaching, been known as a decade, and I start seeing, things for what they are. We get complacent, we get into ruts, we get into routines, we get into comfortability, and what happens is we spin our cycle. And y'all are young, so I don't see y'all, when you're young, you start to get a clientele. It's exciting, building new faces, making money. Then over the years, you retain clients. You start to see repeat clients, and they start coming back. And after over a certain amount of years, it's the same faces and the same people, and you start feeling like it's rut in a monotony. But after a while, if you reinvent yourself, when I go to school and I watch students unpack their barber kits and the excitement in their eyes, and then, when I start teaching and I start learning some things that I didn't know, or some things that I watch students, I still go get continued education. And then I come see barbers and the things I say young barbers should do, and it rejuvenates you. And then at the end of the time, when I'm thinking about retirement, I have a lot of life left in me. And so what happens is I want to be a certain barber that I would want to be before I leave this earth. I want better timing. I want better communication. I want a better skill set. So I still give free haircuts to some of the young 17, 18-year-olds because I have to conform to what's coming new. And you get back in there and you start seeing how it's been good to me. Well, I've seen how it's been good to me taking care of a family, life. You can't help but feel, rejuvenated. And when you do a skill set and then you start to see barbering give back to what you put in, it's a real good thing. And to have the influence that I have in the barbering industry, is I don't take it for granted. And you come into a nice shop like this and you see them with the tools out and you be ready to cut. You be ready to go again. Because a good haircut never gets old. Yeah. Once you do a good haircut and you do it again and you start to see your worth and all this and your skill, man, it's exciting. It's like a second win, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, for sure. Like when we first opened up our kits, man, I didn't know half the stuff was. I just knew I was ready to get to it.
What?
I just knew I was ready to get to it.
Just happy to have that senior, man.
Yeah, man.
It was. Now you're looking at it like, man, they gave. I know it.
And then, so a good haircut, for example, you'll be just strolling. You gotta get a new outfit at the mall or whatever. You'll see one of your clients.
Yes.
And I'm at the point now, I'm three-ish in, and I'm like, I can see my own haircut. I'm like, oh, that's the fade I did.
Yeah.
Before, I couldn't tell the difference. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's my haircut. And before they even turn around, I know it's my client. And then You know, I've been lucky enough to see some of my haircuts on TV, and I'm like, dang, that's a good feeling.
It is. You'd be a household name without knowing it.
For sure, yeah. It's crazy. 'Cause, like, seeing it on TV, I never thought I'd see something like that. And, like, even, like, on a small scale, like, no one else notices it, but it's like, dang, I really did that. You know, it's a good feeling. Like I said, good haircut, just a good feeling. Every time you come in, you be giddy, like, let me hold them tools.
Yeah.
I see it in you.
It is. It's just exciting, you know. It really is.
Yeah.
So.
With the barber, the name barber being oversaturated, I guess. But like, what does being a barber mean to you? Like on a deeper level. I know I'm asking some absolutely fire questions.
No, you're good.
I've been waiting for this a long time, man. So.
I got you. I was in the store, and a lady I knew for a long time, she said, "You look like a real barber." And I said, "Well, what the heck did I look like before?" You know? And when you become what people dream or envision a barber to be, and you live up to that expectation, you know, it's a life. I don't know how to not. My son is 11, and I've been cutting since I was his age. And I looked, I was like, oh my gosh, this been my life. It's my life. It's not a job. It's not a profession. It's who I am. That's what it means to me. If my wife leave, my kid grow up, they move on, we get rich, I'm still barbering. I can't.
You hit the lotto, you're still paying the flippers up.
Yeah, I'm still doing it. People think I'm lying.
I believe you.
This time I'll do it for free.
Yeah. I mean, I got money. What do I need money for?
Yeah, you know, it's just being a barber, being behind that chair, watching this window, come up, come down. Sometimes you don't know if it's cold, it's hot. You don't know what it feels like outside, and you cut the people. You see them come, you see them go. It's your identity. So that's what it means to me. It's my identity. I can't shake it. I could get $100,000 job or $2 million job.
Still gonna be the same.
It's still gonna be the same. I'll work that job just long enough to get financially situated. Then I'm coming back to barbering.
That's what's up, man. I firmly believe you on that. Like,
Yeah.
As soon as like before I even really met you, I'm like, that's a barber for real.
Yeah. I still have a lot to learn.
Yeah. And that's that's another one of my favorite things. Like, we're always gonna be a student. Like, keeping up with everything that's evolving, coming back. I never thought mullets were coming back, not in a million years. But you know, like keeping up with those fads. You know what's changing, what's staying the same. Always a student and never stop learning.
Never stop. Nope.
Have you thought about quitting?
Plenty of times.
What helped you through that?
All right. Talking about quitting barbering?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I thought about quitting because it's a vicious cycle. If you are illiterate or ignorant to how finances work, you can find yourself being trapped as a barber.
First year.
Yeah.
My first year was throwaway money, I guess, because
Yep.
I wasn't used to making money like that, you know, and I didn't know what to do with it, but we're still in my 20s, so I'm trying to get with it, you know, before it gets too late.
I got a family. I come home, I cut from 6 a.m. on Friday, 2 in the morning, get home, my children asleep. Then I have to be at the shop at 5. Then I cut, I don't see my kids for 2 days. And my health went down, and my wife was like, why don't you try something different? And I was like, I don't know what's going to pay me. I don't have a degree. And I thought about quitting because of my health. When I was about 30, 33, 34, I would cut hair and it feel like I'm just falling, but I'm standing still, and anxiety, panic attacks, different things with my body I wasn't sure.
For sure. And
I thought about doing something different. It's actually how I got into being an instructor. And I thought about quitting. I got tired of, what I didn't know, I was undercutting myself on my prices, couldn't get ahead financially. My wife helped a lot, but I sustained the life, things that we need, necessity, but it was no savings, it wasn't no trips, no getting ahead in homes, and I was a little frustrated, after all them years of putting my time in. But I didn't quit. Lively came along. And, that kind of saved me from really, I actually thought about doing something different. I probably wasn't going to do it.
Or you at minimum would have came back,
Yeah, I would have did something like I'm doing now. Maybe work the job, still cut hair, or made that part-time. But, nah, I probably wasn't doing nothing different. I thought about quitting for my health. There's only a couple things going to make me stop. My health and my family.
Okay. Fair enough. That's very, I respect that.
Nah, for sure.
How do you feel about the rise of influencers and like the social media trends? How do you feel about that?
I love it. I love it. Social media offers insight to barbering that we didn't have. I would say be careful which and who you listen to. Some of them don't even have license. Some of them haven't been cut.
And you wouldn't even know.
You wouldn't know it. But it offers education beyond measure. So I'm excited about the influencers. It gives people hope. It brings respect and civility to the barbering industry, which wasn't there before social media. It highlights all the pros. And it highlights some of the negative things as well.
Depending on who you watch, some people will be completely transparent with you.
Yeah, those are the ones I tend to watch. But they give students or people interested in, a fair understanding of what they're getting into. I watch some of the skill sets when it comes down to certain things, and I have a few favorites that I watch, and it's very educational. So I love it. It's very informative and it's very exciting and knowledgeable. So I really like it.
My favorite thing, like, obviously I'm still going to agree with you, like, word of mouth is the best, but it's almost like digital word of mouth on steroids, like,
Yes.
Because, like, say, for example, like, you might not know, I've had a client come in, like, oh, hey, so-and-so sent me your Instagram, and I found you through that. Never talked to dude in my life. Word of mouth, it's word of mouth, but it's, like, digital word of mouth.
It's still word of mouth.
Yeah.
They still just spreading just different languages.
It's so easy, it's so easy just to spread, like, click that send button, boom, it's very helpful. Very, like you said, the continued education on there, and the amount of, obviously, like, I have a couple mentorships I'm in. I have a couple education courses I'm in, but the amount of free game, if you know where to look or what to look for and what not to listen to, endless.
Endless, yes, it is. Like I've been, and it may be a little controversial, but I've been thinking about pixie cuts a lot. Mm-hmm. Going to a lot of pixie cuts, but you really don't envision a young black man standing behind blonde haired woman doing a pixie cut.
Right.
They're out there.
But it's almost like an untapped market.
It's a very untapped market.
Yeah.
But this is the thing, this is what I say when it goes back to barbers limiting themselves. They just stick with their comfortability or the familiarity.
There's so many barbers that can do a crispy fade.
Yes.
Can't touch the shears to save their life. And
shears.
then there's also vice versa. Do all around a scissor cut, fire. Can't blend a line out to save their life.
Nope.
So yeah. It's all dependent on what you put in, what you get out.
It is. But you want when you wake up, and this is just for me.
Yeah,
when I wake up as a barber, I don't want just you all to say it. I want that white lady down the street, older white lady, younger white lady, say, yeah, he cut my hair.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want everyone to say he really did a good job on my head. Man, woman, old, young, white, black, green, Mexicans, it don't matter.
Right.
When I touch your head, I want you to say he did a really good job.
I don't know if y'all remember. I think it was it might have been the first day. I know it was first week. You asked like what we wanted out of this.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, it might be 5 years, it might be 10 years, it might be 15. I'm not really going to put a time limit on it. But I want anyone to be able to sit in my chair and be comfortable doing it, know what I'm doing,
That's what a barber is.
So, pixie cut, burst fade, whatever the case may be, I want to be able to know how to do it. Long hair, short hair, women's long hair, it don't matter. Hair's hair at the end of the day.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say that's just facts. Yeah.
It is. You don't want to be labeled as a one-trick pony.
Right.
You really don't.
You're only hurting yourself.
Yeah,
You
just
do.
limiting yourself.
For sure.
You really are. So,
Where do you see the industry going in the next 5 to 10 years?
one-man, two-man units, mobile.
1 man, 2 man units. You mean like
One,
Like a
two
suite
people
or
in the
something?
shop. Yeah.
okay, it's like more suites ish. Yeah, suites ass.
So, in my opinion, it is just or two things is people are becoming conscious about what they like in the atmosphere and the environment in the shop. They may not like where they're at, so they want to dictate their own environment. So they create their own suite, 1-2 man that may still want to turn a profit, because if you go to a suite, you're paying for all the bills yourself. But then you may have 2-3 chairs where 2 of them still paying when you turn a profit. So smaller spacing, And the second thing, people are being more conscientious about space. If you look in here, you got 5 chairs in a small space that a lot of people don't need space. So they're downsizing when it comes down to overhead. So less overhead, better environment, in my particular opinion, when it's coming to, because the shops are oversaturated. It's hard to have large shops with 10, 15 chairs and have them all filled.
Not even have them filled, but that's hectic.
It is. It is, but it's not. It's not like it used to be. You know, back in the days, it was common to see unisex salons and barbershops have a high volume of barbers in that shop because they were the only ones, offering the stations. But now, since you got everybody opening up shops, and you may have literally five on one corner, and it's hard to fill them up. So they're going down, and the work. It's kind of crappy. Where I also see it is the work ethic is declining, which means they don't want to work. They don't want to come in and cut and put the hours in. And I'm around some workhorses that, man, you get there at 5, they're there at 6, they're there till 11. That's what they doing. And these are 50-year-old men.
The bare minimum, you will run over so many people if you do just the bare minimum these days.
Yeah. So I see that coming. They want more money for less work. They want smaller space, control of environment, and I just see it just changing. I won't say that's bad.
No, for sure.
I won't say it's good.
It's just about adaptation.
Yeah, it's just adapting.
I agree with you, but also disagree with you in the sense of suites are cool for the people who it works for, but for me personally, I see it going bigger. And I know that might be controversial, but the reason I say that, for me speaking personally, if I was in a suite, I would get lonely. Like, me and myself and all that, that's just lonely. I want to be able to have group conversation. And granted, sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. You got to read the room, read your audience. But, what is it? With social media, we got podcasts coming out now, we got all these things. So, for me personally, I want a bigger shop. Even if there's 5 or 6 chairs, I want a content room. Yeah. Or, I feel like that's going to be another thing, too. I feel like the way the barbers, the way it's going, where we're doing more business stuff and capitalizing on stuff, just not behind the chair. Obviously, behind the chairs, to keep the main thing. But podcasting, for example, I'll need a space for that too. And why not have it all in one spot? So it could really go either way.
It could.
I see both, honestly. Both, honestly.
No, I hope I'm wrong on that.
Yeah,
I really.
But I mean, the way it's trending now, I completely see why you say that.
Yeah. I would say if it is going to go larger, they would have to find the right location.
For sure.
Parking, location, those are 2 things that I believe that it still would thrive.
That and a well-rounded team.
And a well-rounded team. If you have those things...
What's the word I'm looking for? Turnover rate? Is that the word I'm looking for? There's a lot of turnover rate, I feel like.
There are, but that has to do with how and I have to be very careful, the management.
For sure.
Dictates, the turnover rate.
Yeah.
Some people aren't into corporate. Some
Yeah.
people aren't into, certain things. Most people want traditional barbering. Let me pay my certain fee, get my station.
Leave when I want.
Yeah, So I hope I'm wrong on that, because I can see how some things still are going to thrive. Mainly may split, and traditional and new age. I don't know.
Okay. Well, on the same kind of route as that, do you think the industry is evolving, or do you think it's diluted?
I think it's a bit of both. I think it's evolving. The traditional barbers are having a hard time adapting. I'm one of them. I'm having spraying things. I'm still having trouble adapting to certain things. But I think it is evolving because this new age barbers are more open-minded to different avenues.
For sure.
I think they're more open-minded to different styles, techniques, tools, and y'all have these days the equipment. We used to dream about cordless clippers. I know that seemed ages ago. Y'all are at a major advantage where y'all can post great content free of charge. So I think it's evolving, and I think it's great. You go to microblading, you go to tattooing, you go to, different things.
SMP, man units.
Yeah, man units. So I think it's really evolving to the needs of people. You know, back in the days, they weren't big on some of this stuff. They weren't big on color. They weren't big on diversity. You know, go over there to get straight hair, go over there to get curly hair.
Go over there to get your fade, go over there to get your scissors.
Yes.
For sure.
So it's evolving, and you have a lot of shops that are more diverse, which is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, I love to see it for sure.
So I think it's evolving, but I think it's diluting because of the intangibles. I think the skill in the business is evolving, but some of the intangibles are diluting, as far as interpersonal skills, communication, longevity, the passion to be a barber. They really don't, a lot of them don't really want this to be their life. And that's okay. That's okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there's some people, this is their life.
Yeah.
And so I really can't say it's diluting. I just think it's subjective or a matter of perspective.
Yeah, for sure.
You
could argue both, all day we could talk about it.
You can.
But, towards wrapping up, first of all, I appreciate the time.
Okay.
Closing out, is there any, super funny client stories you have that you can, off the top, no pun intended, but off the top you can think of?
I got too many, and some of them may not be good content. I got too many. What's some funny ones? Funny one was, I'll just say this short. I was in barber school. I went to school in 2000, came back 2006. Long story on itself. And I was doing a refresher course to get my license. There was a gentleman in there. I was watching it. He cut. And I was going to try to recruit him for my shop. We go to talking. He was like, man, my daddy was a barber. He had a nice fade. I said, okay, I want him.
Right.
So we get into the shop. And a lot of them came from him. It was this old church lady. She used to bring her son in there to cut her hair. Never heard this lady get upset. Never heard this lady speak out her name. This lady was, yes, man, the Lord. So he cut this little boy's head. He cut this little boy's head and tore the little boy's head up.
She wasn't talking about the Lord no more.
Yeah, so she came in there and she like, Jason, who cut my effing baby head? And we was all like,
Jaws.
yeah, so the gentleman standing next to me, I didn't want to out him. I said, man, Mom, I do apologize. I'll fix it. I tried to. She sat there and she said, well, whoever it is don't need no effing license. He can't cut. He's sorry. Oh, she went in. He was just standing there watching this lady critique him. He just couldn't do nothing but smile. And we were laughing. And she would get, the more I laughed because I saw the situation, the more upset she got. What you think this for? Oh,
it's probably a nervous laugh. I don't know what to do.
I was trying to be serious with her, but I couldn't help but laugh because
you had never seen that side of her before.
Yeah, no, I haven't. You know, and she was cussing and she was hot. I don't bring my baby back to this. I said, oh Lord, and I was just laughing between serious, And she took the baby. I fixed the boy's head. She left. I never saw her again. Never. And we clowned that dude. Then back days you could clown him.
Yeah, for sure.
Ooh, we clowned him. So that was one of the stories. And I got plenty more. I think that's just PG one right there.
Okay, all right, fair enough. If you had one message to give to every aspiring barber out there, what would it be?
Fall in love with it. I mean, really fall in love with it. It would never let you down. I have yet to see a barber fail. Every barber that failed was because of what they did, not because of the industry. Fall in love with it. Barbers, they don't show up, poor work ethic, poor communication, poor timing, poor skill, and they won't develop. Fall in love with it. The only way you're going to sustain yourself is to fall in love with this. Fall in love with it daily. I mean, and be the best. Low-key, have a real cocky attitude. I'm going to be better than all y'all in this shop. When you walk in the shop and you ain't about to clown me, no. I'm going to be the best person. I'm going to be the best barber in the shop. When they walk out and say, yeah, he's the best one in there, that's where you want to be. It's not a competition, but it's just...
It's confidence.
It's confidence.
You know what you're bringing to the table.
Yeah. So, because in this industry, I've learned if you don't, a skill set, everything changes. But a skill set doesn't. The skill never changes.
Speaks for itself.
It does. Everything can change, but if you do a good doggone fade, can't nobody say nothing with it. Haircuts are subjective. You might like it, somebody not like it, but a really good haircut, can't nobody say nothing about it.
Right. That's fair.
So just fall in love with it. Find out what it takes to be the best. Find out what it takes to cut that haircut. I'm finished. I walked into my barber shop when I was 20. I was doing my walking to the shop doing a demonstration. I seen the dude cut a fade, and before I could even say anything in front of everybody, I said, "I want to cut like that." And my client looking at me like, "What? You ain't cutting like that? Now you got me up in here." So yeah, fall in love with it. You don't know where this thing gonna take you.
Yeah,
you
don't. I mean, I thought from year 1 to year 3 it's changed.
Man, and it's gonna get better.
Yeah.
It's just up to you.
Yeah. I feel like we ain't even touched the surface yet.
Not yet.
It's still
I'm
early.
30 years in. I ain't touched the surface.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know
30 years? No.
33.
Shit.
Yeah. One thing y'all haven't heard me say, and I appreciate the shout out. I never told myself a master barber. You've never heard me say it. Never. Because I would not sit here and lie and say I've done perms, relaxers, color, to the extent that I've done haircutting. I still haven't done that pixie cut. I've cut thousands of heads. But there's so much more I need to learn.
For sure.
I'm still giving out. I got this young white boy I'm getting cut because they got a different style going on that I'm still got to learn. And I cut him and his brother for free. I got to stay up on no. I pass up on haircuts that I generally would do, and I can target who I need to feel of my weak points. Don't be afraid to recognize your weak points and work on them, because your worst day should still be better than most people's best day.
Right.
I'm just saying, just fall in love.
That's a
with
gem. That's
It
real.
is. It
Yeah,
is.
for sure. What's the proudest moment of your career, if you had to pick one?
Man, I've had several. 2006, I was 26. I could cut some hair when I was in my 20s.
You act like you can't now, man.
No.
Well, yeah, like it done changed. It
Yeah,
only got
It
better.
had. My best moments were in my late 20s. I've always been diverse, but I was always on the south side, where it's one demographics. It's just where I landed. When I got to North Monroe, and I was free again, and I could cut some hair back then. Oh, man. My mind and my body was in sync. Right now my mind is sharp, but my body ain't acting right. Man, I could. So that was my moment where, I was like, can't nobody touch me. And I put out really good work. And those were one of the moments I was happiest. And my second one came when I was humbled at Lively. I cut this gentleman, this older gentleman, and we was in the meeting, and I effed his head up. And I've been cutting for decades. And because he had a cowlick underneath that I didn't see, that I didn't know when he comb or groom it. When you cut it, you can't see it.
Right.
And certain ones you can, but then when it stuck out, then the back came out, so you couldn't taper it down. I don't know if you ever had the back of the hair stand out like this.
No, for sure.
And you can't lay it down. Oh, man, them two things. And I was just like, man, don't tell nobody I cut that hair. But when I got it right, I don't know, that moment was big for me. I can't go into depth or articulate why it was big, but for me as an instructor, the secret things that the instructors won't tell you is that we learn on the go as well.
For sure.
There's certain things we have to teach you that we don't know. When I was in there, one thing I never lied to y'all, I'd be like, let me go look it up.
For sure.
My bad.
You gonna pull that book out.
Yeah, pull that book out. I could go to the book. But as far as the skill set, it was one of those things. I spent 9 years developing those mannequins. It's bigger than y'all think. Hopefully y'all understand what I was trying to do.
I still should be using them, but man.
You have to put 30 years, different things into one mannequin. You see what I'm saying? And one of the biggest things is people don't use the scissors. So for me, it verified. Let's see if it could answer this question. It verified what I was teaching. And I know I put everything into it. And I couldn't believe I made that mistake. And it kind of made me contemplate everything that I did. But when I got it right, I said, okay, I moved
that mountain.
Yeah, I moved that mountain. So that was another one. And I got one coming up. I got one more coming up that's going to define it. I got something coming up. I can't tell y'all what it is.
With that being said, I guess we're getting a part 2.
Yes, sir. Part 2 on the way.
So yeah,
Gotcha.
that'd be my final defining moment, I think,
Okay, fair enough.
and one of the few.
Okay. Before I ask the last one, is there anything I missed you want to
No,
tap into?
I think we got everything today, bro.
All right. Last one. What do you want your legacy to be left on this?
I want to be a real barber. I want them to say, if he's a master barber, I want them to know that's what I was. I don't, nothing else, you know, for me, like I say, my work, my product has been my pride. When people come in, they hear about me, or they say good, bad things, they think I'm a one-trick pony. It's so much I've heard over the years.
Mm-hmm.
But when they cut beside me, they be like, man, you're really good, like they say. I still want people to see how good I really am. I'm getting older, I have a family, I have to compartmentalize, I'm working, and being behind a chair, I can't focus like I used to. But it's like muscle memory, it's the skill that I know I can do with my eyes closed. But the love and the passion is still there, but the time to express it is limited. So I want one more go round. And when I put that love into it, I want to remind people how good I really am. And I really want people to see that. And that's my thing. I know I'm living off of history of people, what they say is good and all this, some of the skill, but people really don't know.
Yeah.
You know, and even when I get my chances, I don't deliver in the moments like I should because I got so much on my plate.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to sit back there one day and I don't know if I used to tell you, a good haircut to stop you in your tracks.
No, for sure.
I want people to walk past and be like,
"Dang, who cut your hair?"
Yeah,
Sure.
I want those moments again. I start to see how them older barbers, they be like, you used to be good back in the days,
Yeah.
I struggle these days with straight lines like I used to. I go back to my old cuts, and then sometimes it's the tools, sometimes it's my body, but I got one more hurrah. And when I leave and put them down, I want them to say, I want them to talk. There's certain people that I hear over the years about barbering that just stand out amongst everybody. And there's so many good barbers, but they don't have the platform. They don't have the notoriety or the
They don't monetize on.
Yeah, they're not. But I want that. I want that at the end of the day to say that bitch was a lesbian. I think you can feel it.
Yeah.
I want them to say, hey man, he really was. He really was the truth.
Yeah.
And that's all I want. Just to let people know, yeah, I was the truth. I don't care if I'm better than somebody or worse. I see barbers I'm cutting next to that I watch every day. Like, man, I got one, he's so fast. I got one, he's so clean. I got one, I bow to him every day, literally, because when I was 15, and I know I'm babbling, I know we got
No, do your thing. I'm more worried about your time.
Oh no, when I was 15, I used to hear about him. I was doing a haircut. Gentleman walked up, had a tent fade so clean. I remember that to this day how it looked. And I was 95. And I got to work with him. And not only did I work with him, I'm cutting his hair. This is a barber that everybody knew. And every time I just bow my head down, he think I be playing. I ain't playing. I work with a good group of guys, workhorses. We got one, he's just well-rounded. Man, I work with some really good barbers. And when we come in, it doesn't matter what demographics, they are all there. And I feel like a beginner with them. They say, man, you good, but I be like, no, y'all ain't seen nothing yet. It might take another 3 years for y'all to really see my work. It's because, I'm on a time frame. I hate being timed, 30-minute increments to fit everybody in. I hate it. I like 45 minutes. For me, that's comfortable. But I can do it in 35 minutes. I may not like it myself. Mm-hmm. But I want, when I put down these clippers, these razors, and these scissors, them to say, man, that was a real barber. I just want them to say, to give them a visual or understanding what it really is. People take this as a joke. This ain't no joke. It's not. So when I walk down, I want people to understand how serious this is. I want people to understand, how important barbering is. And let me just say this. Barbering deals a lot with people's mental health, and people don't know it. And this is the one thing I think I would like people to know. And most people associate mental health with mental illness. And that's just one category of mental health. Mental health is comprised of your emotional well-being, your mental, your social, your spiritual. These are comprised. So let's say you are a student at school, everything's fine. You're just overwhelmed with so much work that you just mentally break down. You got to take a break. Your mental health has been compromised. You're dating a woman and you ain't got no mental illness. You just so hurt you can't eat, you can't sleep. Your mental health has been compromised. It could be one of those categories or all of them. But socially, barbering deals, and you wonder why it's so fascinating to people, because it deals with the mental health. So, for instance, it deals with the social aspect of mental health, where when you wake up in the morning, the social aspect deals with, are you rich, are you poor? Your job, your demographic. It deals with so much. So, for instance, as an adolescent, you go to the high school, they all get the same haircut. They're so influential.
Yeah,
because being socially accepted is paramount for them.
Absolutely.
So what happens is they have to have the latest clothes, they have to have the latest gear, they have to have the latest haircuts to be socially accepted. They don't think so. They all think they're different.
For sure.
But for an adult, you have to be a good haircut, make you younger, make you slimmer, make you look more intelligent, get you the job. You have to be well groomed, make people take you more serious. So you have to have grooming. Yeah. Especially as a man, you have to groom yourself and for society to take you serious. So it deals with the social aspect of your mental health. If you don't have a haircut, your day's foggy, you're off balance, you don't know what's going on. So what people understand, and then what most people don't understand, is how big barbering is. It is not just picking up a pair of clippers, trimmers, or scissors or razor and doing a good haircut. It deals with shaping the outlook of somebody's day or life.
Yeah, or both, yeah.
Yeah, or both, So that's it.
No, you good, man. I love it. I miss being around school all the time. I was like hearing these. What? So I'm gonna call them sermons, even though they're not sermons, because it's a good sermon. But first of all, thank you for the time. I know how valuable that is.
Yep.
Thank you for everything you've done for us. You continue to do, planting those seeds in our lives, dropping those gems. Please don't stop what you're doing.
Gotcha. Well, thank you very much. I'm honored.
Sure. We're gonna part 2 to see what this last hoorah is.
Got to, man. I'm curious.
I hopefully it'll be by this summer.
Okay.
I plan on having everything rolling by December. Okay. And everything should be official by next summer. Okay. And I'll say this because, like I said, I'm 45. I'm thinking about retirement. My body ain't the same. And I can't just stop.
For sure.
It's not a job. It's
in you, yeah.
It's me. I can't stop, so I have to fade out. When I get 60 and...
Fade out.
Yeah, I have to fade it out. No pun intended, but pun intended, And I have to fade out. And what I'm going to do is going to fade out with me. So when I'm done, my legacy, everything I'm doing is going to be gone. Hopefully my legacy be left, but everything about me physically and practically will be done. And I see the writing on the wall. I put a lot. And in these next 15 years, it might be a whirlwind. I'm planning on doing a lot of social media content. I was a little apprehensive about it.
Yes. Yes.
Because, I plan on
You got a lot of game, man. It needs to be heard. That's one a voice that needs to be heard, man.
I appreciate that. It's an honor. I plan on doing a lot of content. I plan on doing a lot of continued education. I plan on doing content where, and I'll put a little bit out there where I'm just going to do raw. Yeah. It ain't going to be no...
I feel like sometimes that's the best. Yeah. Everyone tries to make this picture perfect edit. Yeah. My favorite, raw content's my favorite.
Yeah, I'm going to do raw content. I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to be aggressive. I'm going to be, I'm going to be a student. I'm going to ask opinions. I'm going to ask, but it's going to be informative. I think that is what people are searching for. Raw education where it really, they don't want to hear they like the promising and the inspirational stuff. It's cool. It's very inspirational. But when you put your hands on it, is that inspiration going to manifest or materialize into your work?
Discipline's what's going to carry you over.
Yeah.
Motivation's cool, but it don't last,
There's a lot of things, I'll search for in content that they don't give in content because they don't want to be seen as less.
For sure.
But I'm not concerned with money or monetary gain. I'm just really concerned with education.
Yeah.
If I put it out there. So I plan on doing a lot of content. And, you know, yeah.
Do it, man. Do it.
And when y'all see what I got coming, I know I keep boosting it up. Y'all know. It's something that hasn't been, it's been done, but it hasn't been done. And I'm you know, you see the cracks. And I fell in love with it. I've been contemplating for the last 2 years. I've been obsessed with it. And I know my heart. When they do that, I'm already planning. I had to get my home first, my house.
Yeah.
So once that's done, I got everything ready. So
Good,
y'all
man.
gonna love it. It's what's been needed. And I know it's just intention.
Pump faking, man.
Yeah, I
Man.
know.
We've been talking about it for 2 years, man. Whatever higher power you believe in, it's in there for a reason. If it's been 2 years and you can't, if you're still on it, you know.
Yeah, I've been down to. I've searched overseas. I've been looking overseas,
Far and wide.
And the irony of it is, and I'll just give you an example, and I won't say what it is, but let's say you're looking for a barber chair, right? Mm-hmm. And let's say you're looking for the footrest. Here in America, they won't sell the footrest how you want it. So you have to go outside, what they doing, and then you be like, well, dang, why can't I find it here? And then you find out it was customized. So now I have to go back to the drawing board and customize, and in order to get it. But then once I go down this road, I find out I may not have to customize. So I go back down this rabbit hole, and it's back and forth. So I'm excited. I think you all will be too. Just stay tuned.
Cool.
Yes.
All right. Hey, stay tuned, man. Thank you again for the time.
Thank you all.
Thank you for watching Off the Top podcast. If you are an aspiring barber and want to be a barber, anything barber related, student wise, I'm gonna drop Jason's Instagram below. Lively Technical College. Anything you need to know, he's probably got the answer to. If you don't have the answer, he knows where to get the answer.
Yeah.
So I'm Kyle, this is Amir, Jason. Thanks for watching another episode of Off the Top podcast.